Hello you all, welcome in this new video on our life on the homestead. This springtime I came across an interesting 7-part lecture on YouTube from Yannick van Doorne on electroculture. It's all about harnessing electricity to stimulate plant growth. These techniques are not so difficult or expensive to try out, so I decided to take the coming years in the garden and see if it works for me. I will leave a few links below if you're interested to research the topic for yourself. The first experiment is a tower, made from a mixture of paramagnetic basalt and cement. It should serve as an antenna for a low-frequency radio wave that's known to stimulate plant growth around the planet. The effect can take up to 3 years to fully come into play, so it should increase with time. It has a bit of iron oxide in it, so it doesn't look like a grey-colored tower. We are finally started building a compost toilet that is near to the house. Up until now we had to use the one close to the guest cabin that we've built 4 years ago. We have to make this basalt and cement tower high enough because its height determines the area of influence. We're using a plastic sewage pipe as a mold here. And we asked Jonas, his dad, to make us a 3D printed mold to produce the cone on top of the tower. We decided to invest in a small hatching machine this year, so we can brood out some eggs every year and have an influx of new chickens regularly. Unfortunately, one night, when the last 2 chicks were coming out, we heard a loud noise and saw the cat had pushed the machine over the edge, and since then it has been broken. We also made some basalt cones with a mold, in a similar technique to the tower. The main priority at this season of life is definitely Eliana. All the other things like filming, making woodcuts and doing the gardening can only happen during her nap times or when she's being held by another person. I am very happy that at least the basics are set up on our homestead, so it can be facilitated that we can be pretty present with her, both of us. I prepared some antennas for harnessing atmospheric energy, which is a different technique than the basalt towers. These simple antennas are made from copper and or galvanized steel wire and put on a pole of at least 4 meters high, but it needs to be higher with trees around because the trees can interfere with the harnessing. I'm planning to experiment with a few of these in different parts of the garden in the coming year to see if they make a difference in plant growth and health. Here I'm digging in another basalt cone with a copper wire coming out of its top, connected to the steel wire of the plant rack, which should spread the effect throughout the whole surface. This spring was particularly warm and summery, and oh boy did the mosquitoes love it. We had such an influx of a massive amount of mosquitoes in this part of the world, it made it hard to work outside. But also our animals were suffering, so Jonas decided to at least install mosquito netting around the rabbit tractors. The new garden area really gets only scraps of time. So I've thrown down some rabbit bedding and old hay here, and planted out some winter squashes along the edges and potatoes on all the other beds. There's not really much fertilizing or watering happening here, so things have to fend for themselves. The copper and galvanized antennas I was preparing earlier work best when connected to a system of galvanized wires, buried beneath the surface of the garden area, and it is very important that it is north-south oriented. Unfortunately, how my garden is set up with all these raised beds and rocks makes it a big project to dig in the wires. Otherwise, it could have been something rather quick. So I bought a compass and tried my best to install some wires. But with the gardening season coming in full swing, I'm basically running out of time, and I decided to do the rest in autumn when the plants have died back. Jonas is progressing slowly on the compost toilet. This spring and early summer he has spent a lot of time working elsewhere, on friends' projects, building cabins and renovating old log houses. So in the afternoons when Eliana is taking a nap, I'm working on a new collection for my art business. Because my works are sold in limited editions, a lot of the more popular ones are almost or completely sold out. So I'm taking note and expanding the collection, so in the autumn I can hopefully start selling again if everything goes according to plan. Some ideas have worked better than others, but what I found hard to deal with at the moment is the lack of longer stretches of focused working. There is always something or someone pulling my attention away in this season of life, so I have to work in short intervals. Also, my beloved garden is getting scraps of time this year. I would say I spend a maximum of 1 hour each day for 5 days a week doing all the maintenance and growing. But I wonder how I will deal with the harvest coming in this year. As I've realized over the years that this is actually the biggest job when it comes to gardening. Harvesting and preserving all the food you've grown during the season. Eliana's bed is fulfilling a new function now as a garden bench to look out over the pond. I went on a journey to Belgium for 8 days with Eliana to spend time with family. Upon returning, we didn't come back alone. Jonas' family has come to join us again in Estonia. This time his parents and brother with his girlfriend and 9-month-old baby has come. Jonas got a bit of help from his dad and his brother with the compost toilet project, and things are progressing. After the intense journey to Belgium, Eliana seemed to be a bit knocked out for a few days, sleeping way more than usual. Uh-oh. 9 days of growth in the garden were quite noticeable. There has also been a frequent visitor this summer in the garden. A badger looking for earthworms on my garden beds. In his search, he is also digging up plants and disturbing the mulch layer, so I'm not too happy with the mess. Niet geïnteresseerd. Nee. Ja, misschien wat de Shubi.
Nou. Ja.
Almost everyone in our company catched some sort of cold or flu-like symptoms, so we took it easy with little walks and beach afternoons. After having spent a little while back in Belgium, I can so appreciate the silent retreat the Estonian countryside here is on the island. Even in summertime, there is almost never any busyness in our daily life. There is empty shorelines, quiet roads, and sounds of eagles in the sky. Since we had so many mosquitoes in early springtime, we have not yet found a moment to light a campfire in front of our house. One of the little chicks got catched by a predator, but the 3 remaining ones are now with the old chickens. After a few years of homesteading, I really had to come to terms with having regular losses with animals or plants. So I'm less and less bothered by losing things. Thank you so much for watching these videos. I hope you all have a beautiful and abundant summer, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.